Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka Mono Bluetron, back with another episode of 10-Minute Testing. So for those of you who don't know, I live in New York now, and I have moved here to pursue my dream of becoming an international Yu-Gi-Oh! Sensation. That's a lie. I moved here so that I could pursue my dream of becoming an actor, but the two are like equally as likely, so I figured I'd list them both. However, this September 7th, I'll be appearing in an off-Broadway production called Conversations with an Average Joe that I'm really excited about. Except it's eaten into a lot of my time, which is why I've had to sort of scale back the frequency of these videos. I thought I'd be transparent about that. However, as all actors will tell you, the first couple things you do don't really make you a whole lot of money. So today, in about an hour and a half, I get to go talk with the regional manager of an Olive Garden about selling my soul to the capitalist overlords. So let's see what deck I've prepared for my last day free of neoliberalism. We are playing what I'm calling Summoner of Illusions Ghostrick. Now, for those of you who don't know, Summoner of Illusions is like the Jill Stein to magical scientists Bernie Sanders. You know, it's kind of similar and does sort of the same things, but it's not likely to show up in any Tier 1 decks anytime soon. It's a little disappointing, and most importantly, it believes in illusions instead of science. So let me just walk you through the card choices here. We have Summoner of Illusions. The targets for this card are Gaiadrake the Universal Force. If you get this card out, it actually does not die to Summoner of Illusions effect because of its effect that prevents it from dying to affect monsters. We also have Naturia Exterio in case we actually have to get a good card out. It does die, but it's a good turn that it's out. We have 3 Terratop and 2 Takaton Borg. This is so we can go into things like Alucard consistently. We're playing 2 Takaton Borg because it's okay if we draw one. We can get rid of it in order to use Summoner of Illusions effect. We have 3 Koinorma to find our Summoner, and then we have the Ghostrick stuff. We got 3 Jiangshi, which adds a Ghostrick to your hand with stars less or equal to the number of Ghostricks you control. We got Lantern, which negates attacks. We have Spectre, which special summons itself after Ghostrick dies and draws you cards. Then we have Mary that adds Ghostricks to your field. Then I'm playing 1 Ghoul just because routinely I found myself in need of an extra 3-star monster in order to consistently go into things like Alucard. He also pushes for damage. We have a Regeki, we have an Upstart, we have 3 Twin Twisters just because I needed to be playing something. We have 1 Mansion, 1 Scare, 2 Go Round, and 1 Knight. These are all one-ofs because of Ghostrick Angel of Mischief, except for Go Round, which I wanted more often than I made Angel of Mischief. Then we have 1 Solemn Warning, 3 Quakings. This card's nuts in Ghostrick because Mansion means you can just attack over the guys anyway. And 3 Burst Rebirth, which is good at getting back Summoner of Illusions, but not good at a whole lot of other stuff. In our extra, we have our Summoner targets. 3 Angel of Mischief adds a Ghostrick spell or trap and can be overlaid over any Ghostrick Xyz. 2 Alucard. This card's actually really good. Destroys any set card, including monsters, which routinely their monsters will be set. And when it dies, you get a Ghostrick back. We got 2 Doulahan. Then we got our good 3 stars. We got Phantom Knights of Breaksword, Totem Bird, and Dante. We got our good 1 star, which is Utopia Roots. And we got Utopic Future. So let's jump into the games and see how disappointed we can get. So our first match is up against some kind of terrible Card of Demise deck. You can see he's got 2 Card D. We have kind of hot nothing, but we can probably cheese him out with a Quaking is what I'm thinking. He goes first and fires off a Card D, and already I know that something very fun and interactive is going to happen this game. We're going to set some Ghostricks and a Ghostrick Scare. He summons a Card D. Really, we probably should have used Ghostrick Scare to turn that shit face down, but I didn't because you know, then we'd have to like normal summon Ghostrick Spectre in order to get over it. So he's got 5 cards set. I got these 2 cards. I'm thinking if he's some kind of like Chain Burn or some kind of like ridiculous Card of Demise strategy, we're kind of fuckeronied just because we don't really have a good way to interact with that. We use Summoner of Illusions to make Gaiadrake, and he's got Storming Mirror Force, whatever. We Burst Rebirth our Summoner back. I figure I'll just make another Gaiadrake. We summon Takaton Borg. Here's its only use when you draw it in the hand, and instantly it gets bottomless. I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to be able to make Gaiadrake again, but he Mirror Forces my Summoner. Who does that? Who's so concerned with taking 800 that they're ready to fire off a Mirror Force against Summoner of Illusions? So here's where I figure out what he's doing. He machine dupes his Spiral Gear drone, and I'm like, oh god, here's what's going on this game. He's going to use Princess Sprite to add Quaking to his hand. I use Mary as late as possible, but when I realized... Ghostrick's got me yawning. When I realized I want Jiangshi, I realized I probably should have done this earlier so I could have drawn or at least prevented him from attacking. He Quaking Mirror Forces my Jiangshi, and I'm like, is that really what you want to do? You want to set my Ghostricks in face-down defense position? I don't think that's very smart. So we get a Koinorma. I figure I can probably get another Summoner of Illusions, and I get it kind of sick Quaking against a big Spiral Quick Fix and a Princess Sprite. I'm just setting shit now that I know that he's not like Exodia or something. And I'm ready to feel the Stein. We get Solemn Notice. Like, this is, right now, our plan for winning is he's just going to Solemn Notice himself to death. However, here's a fun fact. If you Solemn Notice a Ghostrick, you can summon Ghostrick Spectre. And the card I draw is Summoner of Illusion, so I instantly set that. We're going to fire it off as soon as possible. We get Gaia Drake. We also have the tools to go into a Angel of Mischief. And we do that. We're going to add Mansion. We're going to use Mansion and then hopefully attack over. I assume these aren't battle traps because we've seen a whole lot of them. We have enough for lethal, and I'm very excited to be ending this game. He draws another Solemn Notice and activates it on my Jiangshi. I go through the motions in case he does have a battle trap, but he concedes before I can get the attack in, I believe. Or no, we get lethal in. That seemed incredibly grindy. We're ready for one where we just lose almost instantly. This guy's playing Cyber Dragons or something. We have the classic hand where we have nothing to do. I set Koinorma hoping to get out of Summoner of Illusions. He Machine Dupes Cyber Dragon Core. Here's an interesting fact. You can get Cyber Dragons off of Machine Dupe if you use it on Cyber Dragon Core. So he adds Jizzy Kuru to his hand. I don't really know what's going on. I see some kind of animation around Cyber Dragon Nova, and I think this thing has a fucking effect. I don't think I've ever seen it. He thinks he has lethal, but he doesn't assume that I'm playing bad cards. I get to set Jiangshi. I use Jiangshi to get Lantern. I use Spectre to set itself. Then I use Lantern to negate a direct attack. Things are going well. Unfortunately, he does play Infinity, and he gets to Pallades my Lantern back, so we're kind of in hot water. Thankfully, because he Pallades my guy back, we get to special summon a Terror Top, and he lets it go through for some fucking reason. We're going to use Alucard. He Pallades his Alucard back to my hand, but because I still have a normal summon, I set Lantern. We're just going to Lantern forever, except he has Cyber Dragon Infinity, so he negates it. I figure if I can get all the shit off Cyber Dragon Infinity, maybe I can, like, pull a Regeki or something. We're just using our Ghostricks to be as annoying as possible and draw cards. We get Mansion, so hopefully Mansion is going to get negated by Infinity, which it does. We can always get it back with Alucard, and now we'll get Koinorma's effect. But then he draws a Kaiju, so, you know, it looks like we're completely fucking toast, but not before he activates the very good card, Limiter Removal. Now, if you thought that was boring, and obviously I did too because I was yawning, get ready for the most boring game of your life. This guy's playing Kaiju Pure, a deck well known for doing a whole lot. We're going to set Summoner of Illusions, and oh my fucking god, can I please just play this card once? Thankfully, he's summoned a guy that we can kill with a face-up Gamma Seal. I figure as long as my Gamma Seal is alive, I'm not going to lose my Gaia Drake, so I'm going to go into it. We are just going to attack over everything and end our turn. He special summons, what is this, Godarla, I think? Yeah. Beats over Turtle Friend, and then you know what that means. He gets to tribute something for Radiant. I'm like, why would he give me Radiant unless he has a 3,000 or 3,300 attack guy in his hand? And, of course, he does. He uses Kyoto, and I go, oh, shit, a target for Twin Twister, let's go. We see Dagoran, and I'm like, well, I don't really know what to do against Dagoran. None of my cards really do anything. This card does literally nothing, and this card is face up. We do draw Koinorma, though. I figure as long as he doesn't tribute it, I'm fine. But here, yep, there we go. And I'm in hot water once again. I figure if we draw a rank 3, we can do something, and we do. We can go into Alucard, and then we go into Angel of Mischief. Then we use Angel of Mischief to get Go Round, and I'm like, alright, Go Round is my way back into this game. We're just going to go around the Kaiju every turn. That's the plan. So we go around the Kaiju here. Wham! And then he uses Interrupted Kaiju Slumber in order to give me Kumungus. I'm concerned as to why he gave me Kumungus, but I know it's because he must have something powerful in his hand. He does, so I'm going to go ahead and set Jiangshi and just end my turn. He summons Jizzy Kuru. Thankfully, I still have Go Round activated, so I'm going to use Jiangshi to turn that shit face down. Then I'm going to use Jiangshi again. Then I'm going to attack because I have to, because it was off Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. He's going to turn it to attack and try and get in, not remembering the go-round. Still does the same thing it did last turn. We're going to go ahead and get a Mary to our hand. Right now, we are just 1 3-star away from winning, and we get it, so we're going to destroy this set card and get in for that fatty lethal. So we're back with the deck. This performed about as well as I expected anything containing my good friend Jill Stein to. I think the cards that we put in that were not Ghostricks really made the deck a lot worse, with the exception of the Takatomborg stuff. You know, this card is incredibly slow, and the payoff of getting a 3500 big dumb dude is not as good as it used to be. The Kornomas were giant targets and routinely would just fuck up our game plan. When we drew all monsters, we just lost. I mean, I like the Ghostrick stuff, but probably a better way to play this deck is just take out the Summoners, take out the Coinromas, take out the Burst Reburst, just put in more Ghostricks, and then just play Ghostrick. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed my scathing political commentary, which you can nominate me for a Pulitzer Prize below. I've included the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed the 20-minute snooze fest that is any game involving Ghostricks, and most of all, I just hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give me a like, a comment, or a subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you want to see a certain deck or strategy played in the next episode, let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. Otherwise, I'll just play whatever I'm feeling like. See you Friday.